Looks like something screwed up with the live stream. So, whatever. I'm going to start this talking about what I was talking about originally. What was I talking about originally? Beer, obviously. Oh, yeah. I was asking a question. Do you believe that the CIA or the U.S. government, shouldn't use CIA because it's probably going to come looking for me now, but would use Oi, hola, ¿cómo va? Yeah, screwed up with the, because when I don't schedule, I just start it. I don't have to hit the go live button. So, whatever. Eu não preciso usar controle por fazer livre quando não agenda. Anyway, what I was asking earlier was, do you believe the U.S. government would use aid organizations to fund or to pay the Taliban? Because Jimmy last night brought up the fact that the U.S. was paying the Taliban like 40 million something a month or something like that. I don't know the numbers. I tried to look it up, can't find it. He just heard it on a podcast, so I looked it up. But how would that money get by Congress? Because everything, all the budget items go through Congress except for one organization. Only one organization's budget is classified, and I'll give you a hint. It's a 3-letter organization. The first letter is a C, and the last letter is an A. Anyway, do you believe they might use one of those organizations to pay those without the American people knowing about it? So I'll show you the article. Taxpayers helping I wish I had an engineer like some of the other podcasts. U.S. taxpayers helping fund Afghanistan's Taliban. Aid workers say they're forced to serve the Taliban first. This was written on April 21st, 2023. So, aid workers at non-profit organizations in Afghanistan that receive financial support from the U.S. government say they're being forced to pay fees and provide services to the Taliban. They spoke to CBS News days after the head of a U.S. government oversight office tasked with monitoring how U.S. tax dollars are spent in Afghanistan told lawmakers that his staff simply do not know the extent to which American people may unknowingly be funding the terrorist group. Since the Taliban takeover, the U.S. government has sought to continue supporting the Afghan people without providing benefits for the Taliban regime. They're the fucking government. Who do you think's overseeing how that money comes in? You don't just send money to someone. Special Inspector General for Afghan Reconstruction, Sigar. We're still trying to reconstruct Afghanistan. We pulled out. Fucking cut off all funding. They're fucking morons. John F. Supko said Wednesday in testimony to the U.S. House Committee on Oversight and Accountability. However, it is clear from our work that the Taliban is using various methods to divert U.S. aid dollars. Novel fucking idea. When you lose a war, we won every battle we were in, but when you lose a war due to politics, stop sending the enemy fucking money, stupid. Don't need to reconstruct their country. They aren't friends of ours. Dire circumstances since Taliban takeover. I don't give a fuck. I could give less than a fuck. Unfortunately, as I sit here today, I cannot assure this committee or the American taxpayer we are not currently funding the Taliban, Sopko told the lawmakers. Got to pay to upkeep those weapons we gave them. Nor can I assure you that the Taliban are not diverting the money we are sending for the intended recipients, which are the poor and Afghanistan people. The Afghan people were poor before we fucking got there. I went to Afghanistan. I've been there. They've been poor since Islam, folks. when you're an uneducated fucking twit and you only know one fucking book, guess what? You're gonna be fucking poor. Since the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan and the Taliban took back control of the country in August 2021, the country has spiraled into an economic and humanitarian crisis. International donors suspended most funding that wasn't for humanitarian aid, and billions of dollars in Afghan government assets were frozen. Now almost the entire population is at risk of poverty. They were already in poverty, you fucking retards. And billions of dollars in Afghan government assets were, and 91% of the average Afghan's household income spent on food. An estimated 24.4 million Afghans are in need of humanitarian support. Well, let them pray to fucking Allah. Inshallah, bitches. SOPCO presented SIGAR's list of the greatest sources of risk that could expose continued U.S. financial assistance to Afghanistan to abuse, fraud, waste, or mission failure. We already failed the mission, motherfuckers. We ain't there anymore. So there's no mission. He said the U.S. has made $8 billion in aid available to Afghanistan since the military withdrawal, including about $2 billion in humanitarian aid. A level of assistance, he said, was little changed from before the withdrawal. Shouldn't be sending them fucking money at all. They're still an enemy of the United States. They hate us. You fucking retards. Way to vote, dumbasses. But that's where I started this and didn't hit the go live button. So I was a little late. Whatever, I still have beer left. So you dumbasses are still paying the Taliban. For what, I don't know, but you're paying them. Hey, way to vote though. Personally, I think we should go by the voting records, and all the Democrats who voted Democrat, they should take that shit right out of their check. Call it the I'm a fucking retard tax. Also, if we're going to bring in Palestine refugees, I guess, don't know, who hate America, and have actually come out and said it. So, I think we should house them in Democrats' houses. So when they get beheaded, that's one less fucking retard we have in the country.
This is according to internal facts.
Again, no engineer.
Into the United States as refugees. This is according to internal federal documents obtained by CBS News. The Palestinians under consideration would include individuals with immediate family who are either U.S. citizens or permanent residents. Last year, the U.S. moved 60,000 refugees from around the world, but only 56 of them were Palestinian.
Now watch this.
In Israel, while carrying various banners and pictures of Palestinian children killed in the conflict. Iran sees itself as Palestine's biggest supporter, and for days its leaders have been encouraging people to come out today, Quds Day.
Quds Day, Quds being the Arabic word for Jerusalem, is an annual event in Iran to show solidarity with the Palestinian people, also to show hatred towards the United States, Great Britain, and Israel. This year, the crowds have been extremely large because of the situation in Gaza.
I asked this woman what she thought of America and Israel.
just hatred. I hate them, and I hope that someday they get destroyed.
While this man told me, God willing, Israel will no longer exist. Throughout the rally, men on loudspeakers whipped up the crowd, telling them to raise their voices, because silence meant allowing the Zionist regime to continue the genocide of Palestinians. After the rally,
the
a leading
religion of
cleric
peace. You
delivered
gotta
a
love it.
fiery speech against Israel and America.
But this is what you're going to let
urging
into the
Iran
country.
not to bow to Western demands during the ongoing nuclear negotiations. Ali Arouzi, NBC News, Tehran.
Those are the people Sniffy Joe wants to bring into the country. So, to you Democrats, I say, take them into your house. Because, I mean, let's face it, if they get rid of you, they're just helping our country. Not even mincing words. Like, if they cut your head off while you're sleeping, who's going to... Matter of fact, I'm not even sure you would fucking notice, because what I've noticed so far is Democrats are some of the dumbest motherfuckers. Not classic Democrats. Today's Democrats, the liberals, the loony left, that have gone so fucking far left. I'm surprised if the earth were flat, they'd fall the fuck off. 1 minute, need a sip of beer. And I have to go get one too. But yeah, that's what they're thinking of doing, is bringing them into your country. And I asked it before. You remember the first video about the International Aid Organization? How many of you trust your government enough to say, I don't know, would the CIA use such organizations to pass money to the Taliban? I'm just spitballing here, I'm just thinking outside the box, because, well, actually, I'm not thinking outside the box, because we all know the government's treacherous as fuck. But I'm going to go get a beer, so listen to this while I go, go get a beer. This song was written by Costas, released in August of 1992. It was Travis Tritt's 10th entry on the Billboard Hot Country Singles and Tracks, where it peaked at number 5. All around I hear the sound of money, but I ain't got a nickel to my name. Everywhere I look I see temptation. She stands on every corner and calls my name. Now won't you tell me if you can, 'cause life's so hard to understand. Why's a rich man busy dancing while the poor man plays the band? Oh, they're billing me for killing me. Lord have mercy on the working man. Uncle Sam's got his hands in my pockets, helps himself each time he needs a dime. Politicians treat me like a mushroom, 'cause they feed me bull and keep me in the blind. Now won't you tell me if you can, 'cause life's so hard to understand. Why's a rich man busy dancing while the poor man plays the band? Oh, they're billing me for killing me. Lord have mercy on the working man. All right. So, yeah, I thought that song was kind of fitting, don't you? Just for the times we're in right now. But some Brazilian news. I guess Brazil is going after Elon Musk. I checked Brazil's annual budget, and Elon Musk could buy Brazil. Obviously, he doesn't want it. Anyway, I guess their Supreme Court, some corrupt Supreme Court justice is going after, because the president here really has no power. Thank God, he's communist. So, yeah, you mix communism with corruption and you get a poor country. Weird. And poor people. They don't get it, but whatever. So, yeah.
Collaboration is key for team success. With ClickUp, you can easily manage your team's tasks and timelines in one app. Using our Gantt chart feature, you can map out your team's tasks and set dependencies to ensure everyone.
Crowds cheering Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro, calling for his return to power. It's Bolsonaro's second rally since he was banned from running for public office until 2030.
That's what
after
they're
being
trying
found
to do to
guilty
Trump.
of using his presidential powers to undermine the integrity of the 2022 elections.
I believe God will help us overturn the court's decision and Bolsonaro will be elected president again.
He praised tech tycoon Elon Musk, who lashed out at Bolsonaro's archenemy, Supreme Court Judge Alexandre de Moraes.
Musk has the courage to defend freedom of expression. Let's have a round of applause for him.
Brazil's former president may still have the
This
support
is what
of many
the loony
voters
left
here,
want
but
to
his
bring to
political
America.
future hangs in a balance.
Not this,
Investigations
but
into Bolsonaro's alleged
communism.
role in plotting a coup are underway and expected to wrap up by July. Analysts here say his imprisonment is likely.
Uma demonstração de força popular.
Bolsonaro is using these rallies to show his political might on the streets, hoping it will protect him during all the legal battles he'll be facing in the upcoming
keep
weeks.
in mind this is Al
And he's
Jazeera
also leading
too,
the opposition against Lula.
They love communists.
Bolsonaro may have been banned from running for office, but his supporters say he can still help elect his allies in October's municipal elections. Monica Yanakiev, Al Jazeera, Rio de Janeiro.
And finally, in South America, tens of thousands of Brazilians took to the streets of Rio de Janeiro, and joining them was former President Jair Bolsonaro, who was protesting against the current government and Brazil's Supreme Court. Now, amid the chants of freedom, a new hero has emerged for the nation's far right, Elon Musk. Our next report explains the growing
freedom of
love
speech is
for the
far
tech
right.
billionaire among Brazil's far right and what it means specifically for Bolsonaro.
The streets of Brazil's Rio de Janeiro city were flooded with yellow and green shirts. Tens of thousands of Brazilians gathered at the Copacabana beach. And leading the gathering was former President Jair Bolsonaro. Organizers of the political rally recorded a turnout of over 100,000 people. The demonstrators called the gathering a fight for freedom. Bolsonaro and his supporters criticized the current government and heaped praises on Elon Musk. They called the tech billionaire the upholder of freedom of speech and expression.
Let me pause this because I want to remind everyone of the loony left. Before Elon Musk bought Twitter, when they permanently banned Donald Trump and other people. Well, it's a private company. They can do what they want. Now that after Elon Musk bought it, oh my God, what a fascist! Yes, freedom of speech is fascism. You fucking idiot.
He's a man who really values freedom for all of us. He's a man who had the courage to show, with some evidence and I'm sure more to come, where our democracy was going and how much freedom we have already lost. And I now respectfully ask for a round of applause for Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is currently under investigation in Brazil. That's because Musk accused the Brazilian Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes of censoring social media, including on Musk's platform X, formerly known as Twitter. Musk called the Brazilian judge a dictator for trying to block certain users on X who were found to be spreading disinformation during the Bolsonaro government. Justice Moraes has responded to Musk by ordering fines of around $20,000 a day for any blocked account that X reactivates. And now, Bolsonaro has decided to side with Musk, calling it a fight against dictatorship.
They don't want people like me in the presidency of the Brazilian Republic. They can call me crude, rude, and say I'll make up fake news in any way possible. I'm going to tell you and the system something you already know. You're not going to call me a thief.
The former Brazilian leader was cheered on by chants of "Bring back Bolsonaro." His supporters have thrown all their weight behind him.
I'm here to fight for freedom because I believe that these guys are going too far and are sinking Brazil. They're plunging into corruption. These guys have taken over the elections.
However, there's one problem for the former president. Bolsonaro can't run for office until 2030.
Because of that
He's been
Supreme
accused
Court
of undermining
justice.
Brazil's voting system and tampering his vaccination records during the COVID-19 pandemic. Bolsonaro has also been accused of plotting to jail Justice Moraes. However, with Musk taking on the Brazilian Supreme Court, Bolsonaro is using the opportunity to stay in the political limelight despite being banned from running for presidency till 2030.
From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House.
This is what the loony left wants in the United States, which they're kind of getting too, you know. For instance, your president is trying to have his political opponent thrown in prison on a bunch of made-up shit. I want you to remember this, that the banks that supposedly he defrauded in New York City testified for him. Something else you should also remember, the judge in the Carroll case even said she didn't prove rape. Also, she'd also accused about 7 other guys of the same thing, so credibility kind of shot there. What else? Yeah, you guys aren't much different than Brazil. Is when you guys say corruption and all that, the only difference between your government and Brazil's government is the language in which you're corrupt in, and the amount of money. Like, with the exchange rate. The good thing about having a communist president and a fucked up government is the exchange rate just jumped to over 5 real. So I'm making fat cash. The Brazilians, though, it's fucking shit for them. Let's play another song, because I'm trying to wait for somebody to come in, and nobody's coming in, and I'd love to have a loony leftist come in and tell me how they're better, or things are better. That way, we have kind of a reference point, how things are better, not a lie better. Like, really, how are things better? When I'm back in the game for another night, trying to break free from the sadness that I can't lay to rest. This old home Little Dwight Yoakam for you. Now, what else do we have to talk about? A lot. This is what happens when you don't plan shit, you know what I mean? Now, I seem to remember the Biden administration saying they didn't want to send troops into Ukraine or get into a direct conflict with Russia. Wouldn't special forces, Army special forces, be considered boots on the ground? Yes, they're lying to you people. We already have soldiers in Ukraine operating. Sorry about that.
There's been an alarming hit on U.S. intelligence. Dozens of apparently classified documents from the Defense Department, some of them marked top secret, are circulating on the internet. So what's in these documents?
Maybe they were in Biden's fucking garage.
There are maps, charts, and photographs, and they paint a detailed picture of the war in Ukraine, including its air defenses. But there's also sensitive information about other American allies. And it seems that many of the documents are from daily Pentagon intelligence briefings, although some of them appear to have been altered. The Defense Department is working around the clock to try and figure out how big the leak is, how much damage it might have caused, and who did it. What we know is that the documents first appeared at the beginning of March on a chat forum for a Minecraft video game. They don't contain detailed battle plans. It's more like a U.S. snapshot of the conflict. But they could give the Russians useful information. They could put U.S. intelligence sources at risk. And it's a diplomatic embarrassment.
Looks like I'm gonna read the article because fucking they didn't say shit in the video. It confirms what has been the subject of quiet speculation for over a year. The leaked file, some marked top secret, paint a detailed picture of the war. Yes, we have special forces on the ground in Ukraine. The British government has a policy of not commenting on its special forces in contrast to other countries, including the US. The UK has been vociferous in its support of Ukraine and is the second largest donor after the U.S. of military aid to Kiev. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the Department of Justice has opened a criminal investigation and he was determined to find the source of the leak. If you weren't doing sneaky shit, you wouldn't have to worry about leaked shit. We will continue to investigate and turn over every rock until we find the source of this and the extent of it, he said. If you weren't sneaky, conniving little cunts, you wouldn't have to worry about it. How about this? Round up every dumb fuck that voted for Sniffy Joe and send them over. Yes, folks, we have troops in the ground in Ukraine. That's why I'm trying to figure out what the loony left didn't like about Trump. What was it, the money, or was it the peace? You know, no new wars. What didn't you like, people? If you can explain that to me, because you know what's left that would make the country better? A fucking draft where they just draft a bunch of you loony leftists and send you off to get fucking killed. That's the only thing that's going to save the country. Or some of you right-wingers step the fuck up and get rid of this shit. I've said it before. I've said, what does it take? They're grooming and castrating your kids in schools. What the fuck does it take to piss you off enough? I don't know, nor do I care at this point. Fucking cowards. Unlike the country I live in, the founders actually gave you a recourse to deal with this shit like this. It's just nobody wants to sacrifice shit for their country. I mean, really sacrifice shit for the country. Another song. Thank you. Thank you very much. But anyway, what else can I go on about? Oh yeah, I'm really tired of hearing this shit from the poked, like multiply poked, like fucking dartboard poked. Yeah, the vaccine will keep you from dying. Really? And why are the vaccinated the majority of COVID deaths now, you fucking retard? Shall I explain natural immunity? Don't have to. Hold on. We'll go with the easy one. Natural immunity, also called innate immunity, means the immunity that every human being carries by birth When a child is born, he or she possesses a certain level of immunity, and this immunity is largely conferred by different types of cells, usually called as white blood cells. Basically, if you're exposed to the virus, it releases a white blood cell that will attack the virus. That's natural immunity. Hold on a minute. Yes, vaccinated people now make up the... Indeed, vaccinated people now make up the majority of the population. 79% of adults have completed at least a primary series, and the latest CDC data show that vaccinated people also now represent the majority of COVID-19 deaths. So the people who were not vaccinated aren't dying as much as the vaccinated people. Could it be natural immunity? So how you feeling about getting stuck now? Sorry, I just, Just had, by the way, the same people that got stuck 15 million times also believed a piece of paper over your face would save your life. And those are the people who voted for the current fucktard in office.
Progressives, this is your trigger warning. Well. Joe Biden is declared legally incompetent to stand trial. The first time ever in the history of the country.
It's official. Joe Biden mishandled classified documents, and now his two-tier justice system is on full display. The Department of Justice found Joe retained and disclosed classified documents, including matters of national security and intelligence sources and methods. He put America's national security at risk and then lied about it.
I did not share classified information. I did not share.
And after all that, Biden's special counsel still declined to indict him because he was, quote, an elderly man with a poor memory and diminished faculties who didn't even remember when he was vice president. Joe Biden, unfit to stand trial, unfit to lead America.
President, what do you know right now about...
Biden ordered multiple airstrikes overnight against Iran-backed militia groups in Iraq in response to attacks on U.S. troops in the country. We'll turn to David Spunt live in Washington, D.C. this morning for the latest. David?
Well, several U.S.
I guess the
service
loony
members were
left likes
injured
wars.
in this Christmas Day drone attack yesterday. Unfortunately, one of them critically. It's just the latest attack on U.S. personnel in the Middle East since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. President Biden leaving the White House to spend Christmas at Camp David, but his Christmas turned into a working holiday. The Pentagon says on Christmas Day, the Iranian-backed militia group Kataib Hezbollah launched a drone attack against coalition forces in northern Iraq, wounding 3 U.S. troops, 1 critically. The president, in response, ordered airstrikes against the group and others affiliated.
This is
with
what
Iran.
happens when you elect
In
a
statement,
fucking
the White
moron.
House said
The last president
places
literally
no
walked
higher
across
priority
the
than
DMZ
protection
in
of American personnel
South Korea
serving in harm's
without
way. The United
executive,
States will act
without
in a time
Secret
and
Service
in a
protection.
manner of our choosing.
Nothing
should
happened.
These attacks continue.
Weird.
Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin echoed that sentiment and added, while we do not seek to escalate conflict in the region, we are committed and fully prepared to take further necessary measures to protect our people and our facilities. This
Let's just
adds
hope
to
the
growing
enemy
list
doesn't
of more
scream
than
the wrong
100
pronouns.
attacks on U.S. forces since October 17th, just days after Hamas attacked Israel. The White House has criticized Iran for its support of Hamas and Yemen's Houthi rebels, the group responsible for attacks on ships in the Red Sea. Some lawmakers, though, think a stronger message from the United States needs to be sent.
What we've seen is put 2 aircraft carrier strike groups into the region. That's a massive show of military force. But we've been highly inconsistent in terms of the way we deal with Iran from an economic standpoint and from a diplomatic standpoint.
And U.S. Central Command says the airstrike destroyed
Biden
several
sent them, what,
facilities
$6 billion?
used by the group and likely killed a number of militants. Back to you.
David, is there any indication the White House is planning more such strikes?
Yeah, it's a great question. White House officials not telegraphing directly when asked that question. However, in the statement from Secretary Austin and the White House, as you saw in my story, the government is not, meaning the U.S. government, not ruling out any strikes, saying time, place, whatever they deem appropriate, should U.S. troops be attacked again.
Very
Gracias.
open.
This is hilarious. Even the Brazilian president thinks your president's a fucking moron. That's enough. You get the gist. He's a fucking moron. Anyway, I gotta go take get a beer. Until I get back, let me see what do we got going on here. Here we go. More Eagles.
It's another tequila sunrise, staring slowly across the sky. Said goodbye. He was just a hired hand, working on the dreams he plans to try. Days go by. Every night when the sun goes down, just another lonely boy in town, and she's out running around. She wasn't just another woman I couldn't keep from coming on. It's been so long. Oh, and it's a pile of feeling when it comes down to dealing friends. Never ends. take another shot at touring, wondering why the ride will never come. You just get home. It's another tequila sunrise. This old world still looks insane. Another frame.
Look at that, right on time. Anyway, nobody's in here. Like, I've been waiting for somebody to. That's why I didn't plan anything. Like, you come in, you give me a topic, and fucking I go find it. Or I can comment on it anyway. Actually, there's this douchebag, claims to be a second-degree black belt. Now, hold on. I'm an 8th-degree black belt. I got it right before when my wife was sick. As a matter of fact, they didn't even have a ceremony. They literally dropped it off at my house and said congratulations because she was in the hospital. But anyway, he's been getting on and just bashing. Y'all remember the movie Perfect Weapon, right? Jeff Speakman. Now, to give context, Jeff Speakman is a 10th degree black belt in Kempo Karate and a 9th degree black belt in Goju Ryu black karate. This guy is supposedly a 2nd degree black belt in Kempo Karate, which he keeps bashing Kempo Karate, which would mean he can't fight, which, if you want my opinion, I don't think it's karate's the problem. I think it doesn't sound too like he's too tightly wrapped, to be honest. Sounds kind of like a loony leftist. But he made an entire video about me. I'm going to see if I can find that video. Here we go.
Macho. And then he says right here that would you be more afraid of my belt or my right foot? Now, my response to that,
he spent, you'll see,
to Super Gringo was the fact that, you know, I'm not afraid of like Simon Cowell's foot, but you give me Conor McGregor's foot, well, that's a different story.
I'm not even afraid of Conor McGregor. Call me when it has an RPG.
Very rude and disrespectful in the comments, and that's why I made this video response.
And this was all because Jeff Speakman wore his
So let me get this
black
straight.
belt
If
around
your
his
instructor
neck.
told you to take off your belt today, we're going to learn to do knife disarms with a belt, you wouldn't do it? Well, first of all, knife defense techniques don't work, and my instructor knew that. That's why we had stopped training in knife defense.
Knife defense.
He says, no, it's a symbol. And first he had said, no, it's just a piece of cloth. In the same
Yes, it's
sentence
a
right
symbol,
there,
and I can go buy another one.
he says, no, it's a symbol of what I've done. It's a piece of cloth. All right, well, make up your mind. Is it a piece of cloth or is it a symbol?
It's a symbol and a piece of cloth. I can go buy
Thoughts
as
down
many as
below
I
in the
want.
At how so many people say that this is just a cloth. Yes, it is, but it's also a symbol. And there's one guy in particular, and that's why I'm making this video. He actually contradicted himself, and a link to his video will be in
There is no link to that video.
A link to that video will be in the description below. So let's talk about this being a cloth. See, in the 50s and 60s, the black belt actually meant something, and if you was a black belt, you were
He's
feared.
my age, so he wasn't alive in the 50s
Because
and
it took
60s.
years of dedication to get this. And for you, Super Gringo, to say that this is just a cloth over and over and over again.
It's just a cloth. I can buy as many as I want.
About it. I got this to say to you and to anyone else that thinks that this is just a cloth. I want you to remember something, and I have no idea what belt level you were at. I'm thinking you're probably a black belt is what I'm probably thinking. Because only a black belt will get as pissed off as you have been in the comment section. So, in the 50s and 60s, this meant something. 2024, not so much. You tell someone you're a black belt in 2024, people are like, so? They still think they could kick your ass. In the 50s and 60s, you were a black belt. Oh, okay, I don't want to get in a fight with that guy. That's the difference. That's why some people say this is a cloth. I'm surprised at how many people in the comment section says that this is a cloth and that they're not actually standing up for the belt and agreeing with me. Now there's a lot of people
40 years of experience, but it's all about a piece of cloth.
That, yeah, in today's time and standards, it is just a cloth. But you yourself, Mr. Super Gringo, said it's a symbol. So you're contradicting your own comments.
Yes, it's a symbol that I can buy another one if I need to.
In this video. So this is a second degree black belt. It has never been on the ground except for,
actually,
you know,
that's actually a third degree black belt. It's a black belt with 2 stripes.
When doing takedowns, you know, you fall to the ground.
So he doesn't even know what black belt he's holding, but he's telling everybody he's a black belt.
I'm not getting into that here. I just want to talk about the symbolization, because you say it's a cloth, but you also say it's a symbol. I want you to remember how it felt to go from white belt to yellow belt, because most styles of martial arts, doesn't matter what you practice, that first color belt after
I've
white
done that, what,
is usually
5
yellow.
times?
I want you to remember how old you were. Maybe you were, you know,
the first
10,
time,
maybe you were a teenager, maybe you're an
13.
adult, whatever. I want you to remember how great it felt to receive that yellow belt. How great it felt to receive the next color belt. For me, that was orange. The next color belt for me was purple. The next was blue. Let's see, white, yellow, orange. White, yellow, orange, purple, green. No, where was blue? It's been a while. White, yellow.
Blue
orange,
is after
purple,
orange.
Blue, green, brown, black. There you go. That's how my chemical system went. Every time I got a orange to purple, blue, green, brown, black.
That's like saying if I'm not wearing my sergeant stripes, I'm not a sergeant.
I've got 2 more belts left to get to the black belt.
My sergeant stripes are just cloth.
And I think you're forgetting how great it felt for you if you are a black belt, because you never mentioned and I never asked you what rank you are. I want you to remember how great it felt when you actually received this.
Okay, that's enough of that douchebag. Holy shit. And then he went on today about Kempo has too many right-handed techniques. I went, what? So I made a video for him. Hold on, let me demonstrate what I'm talking about here. This is a right-handed technique. Hold on. This is going to blow your mind. This is a left-handed technique. Fucking stunning, isn't it? This is supposedly a second-degree black belt. Also, I think he's like a college professor or something. So when your kids come home retarded, you can thank that fucking guy. Anyway, I just wanted to get away from politics for a minute. Well, there is as much politics in the martial arts as there is in fucking wrestling. That's why I'm not a member of a single martial arts organization anymore. Why the fuck would I send you my money in the way of dues to just have you people fight amongst yourselves? All I want to do is guess what? I train who I want. I promote who I want. Everybody else can fuck off. Pretty fucking simple. By the way, I do it the old way. I don't have a school. If someone comes to me and wants to be trained, I talk to them. And they become what we call a candidate. And if you make it all the way through and become a black belt, good for you, man. You're kind of a disciple. We'll call you a disciple. Almost like a Jedi, a Padawan. Yeah, the group shit, yeah. Anyway, what do we got on the menu next? Terrorism or what? Oh yeah, terrorism. Yeah, that's on the menu next. Why aren't they on a fucking watch list? And why aren't they getting like arrested and shit and all their government funding pulled? Because, oh, wait a minute, we send money to the Taliban, so that might explain it.
President Biden is scared to death to alienate the Hamas wing of the Democratic Party. You should call it for what it is. Rule by mob. Rule by mob. A belief in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to kill Jews. And it's wrong.
I don't trust this guy, but he's right.
Republican Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana is with me now. Why is President Biden afraid to do the right thing?
Well, Harris, the mayhem you see is an effort to put pressure on President Biden, and it's working. What we're seeing happening on our college campuses is an X-ray of the Democratic Party as it exists at the moment. You have college presidents who are Democrats at war with faculty members and students who are also Democrats, but they're special kind of Democrats. As I said, they're members of the Hamas wing of the Democratic Party. And they believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to kill Jews.
BLM.
They want to change
Antifa,
Middle Eastern policy for the United States. They want America to turn its back on Israel and the Jewish people and support Iran and Hamas. Now, they can't get Congress to go along with that. They can't get the courts to go along with that, so they have to get Biden to do it. And President Biden, with respect, he is old, he is weak. We'll all get there someday. I mean, I'm sorry, but it takes longer than medical school for him to walk across the stage. And he's polling right up there with robocalls. He's weak politically. He knows he has to have the Hamas wing of the Democratic Party to be reelected. He's scared, as my dad used to say. He's nervous as a pregnant nun. And what they're doing to him is working. The president started out as a full-throated supporter of Israel. Now, oh my gosh, you don't recognize him. He wants to leave Hamas in charge of Rafah in southern Gaza. He's told the Israelis they have to get a new prime minister because the current one's too tough. He wants to bring in the Palestine Liberation Authority to take over Gaza. The PLA hates Jews. They want to destroy Israel. I mean, the whole thing is, it ought to trigger the gag reflex of every American.
Well, we've been talking a lot about gag orders. It's almost like he's under one, because what you're talking about is happening, but he's not telling us that it is, and not having to be held to account for what's going on. Real quickly, with this president, what needs to happen next? Or do you think it's cost him so much politically that he can't get that young vote now?
I think the President of the United States, for a change, needs to do what is moral and what is right. And in his heart, he knows. We need to stand with Israel and the Jewish people. We need to fight with everything we have against Hamas and Iran. We need to do to Hamas what we did to ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And I hope, I've said it before, the president needs to go to Amazon and buy Spine online and do the right thing.
Are you suggesting we go to war with Israel against Hamas?
No. I'm suggesting that we back Israel. Just like the president started out.
we don't fight wars
He gets
anymore.
weaker by the day.
Fight.
We need to back Israel. We need to destroy Hamas, just like we did ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And we need to realize who's behind all this, Iran. I understand the president's got political problems. I'm sorry for that, but, you know, that he made them. And just because the Democratic Party has been taken over by people who hate Israel and love Hamas, that's no reason for him to go on with it.
Ilhan Omar.
Senator John Kennedy of the great state of Louisiana, no one puts it quite like you. I appreciate your time, your expertise at this hour. And as a nation, we are perched to see what this president can and will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
My question, all these college assholes, why aren't they just kicking them out
As a
of
gamer,
college?
you know how frustrating it can be when you experience a slow or inconsistent game connection.
Yeah, why aren't these assholes like looking for a place to get a job? You know, after their felony conviction for terrorism.
Don't even know what's going on. And talking shit. You ain't gonna do nothing, boy. Let's go now. Do something. Back up.
This is in the United States.
You have a weapon in your hand.
All over a bunch of fucking terrorists. You soak that up for a minute. And I'm gonna go have a beer, grab a beer.
This is Jim Crow segregation! Shame on UCLA! This is like Jim Crow era segregation! Shame on UCLA! Shame on them! They're not letting students in based on their ethnicity or political stance! Shame on UCLA! This is Jim Crow segregation! Shame on you! You're gonna block Jewish people? You're gonna fuck you up! You hear me?
I'm back. Let's hear it for the terrorist sympathizers. I don't even use the word sympathizer. They're fucking terrorists. Do you know who supports terrorists? Terrorists. They're one and the fucking same.
Bigger than ego. Bigger than ego.
I will give these kids credit for facing off with each other, because they're not setting babies on fire. They're actually fighting each other. Yeah, there's not one baby there to be found being set on fire. So I'll give it, you know, they're actually tougher than Hamas. And they're not doing it while everybody's asleep either. So that's a plus in their favor. They're not, you know, doing it to babies and not raping women that I know of. They're just being douchebags. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to bring up the history of Palestine. My question is, where are the police? Or the National fucking Guard? That's enough of these fucking tards. You know what you call it? Someone who supports the terrorists? Terrorists, they're one and the same. And they should be treated the same. I wonder if I can find that picture. I'll find that picture and get right back to you. I know a lot about terrorists. Two of my degrees are in counterterrorism. Trying to find the appropriate picture. Might not be here. I might not have uploaded it yet. Nope, I haven't. However, I will tell you the actual history of Palestine. So let's talk about the actual history of Palestine. Before Israel, there was a British mandate, not a Palestinian state. Before a British mandate, there was the Ottoman Empire, not a Palestinian state. Before the Ottoman Empire, there was the Islamic State of Muluks of Egypt, not a Palestinian state. Before the Islamic State of Mamluks of Egypt, there was the Ayyubid Arab Kurdish Empire, not a Palestinian state. Before the Ayyubid Empire, there was the Frankish and Christian Kingdom of Jerusalem, not a Palestinian state. Before the Kingdom of Jerusalem, there was the Umayyad Fatimid empires, not a Palestinian state. Before the Umayyad and Fatimid empires, there was the Byzantine Empire, not a Palestinian state. Before the Byzantine Empire, there was the Sassanids, not a Palestinian state. Before the Sassanid Empire, there was the Byzantine Empire, not a Palestinian state. Before the Byzantine Empire, there was the Roman Empire, not a Palestinian state. Before the Roman Empire, there was the Hasmonean state, not a Palestinian state. Before the Hasmonean state, there was the Seleucid, but not a Palestinian state. Before the Seleucid Empire, there was the Empire of Alexander the Great, not a Palestinian state. Before the Empire of Alexander the Great, there was the Persian Empire, not a Palestinian state. Before the Persian Empire, there was the Babylonian Empire, not a Palestinian state. Before the Babylonian Empire, there was the Kingdom of Israel and Judah, not a Palestinian state. Before the kingdoms of Israel and Judah, there was the Kingdom of Israel, not a Palestinian state. Before the Kingdom of Israel, there was the theocracy of the 12 tribes of Israel, not a Palestinian state. Before the theocracy of the 12 tribes of Israel, there was an agglomeration of independent Canaanite city kingdoms, not a Palestinian state. Actually, in this piece of land, there has been everything except a Palestinian state. There are, even in their own religion, the Muslims, there are 114 chapters in the surah, in the Quran, called surahs. Nowhere in any of those surahs does it mention Palestine. It does, however, mention Israel. That was written in 670 AD, after the New Testament was completed, 670 years after. Weird, huh? But yeah, they should be protesting, for terrorists. Here's an idea: raise your fucking kids properly. How about that? And to end off the night, I figured I'd show some pictures from Picatinny Arsenal when Jimmy and I were there in 2001 and 2002, I think it was. I actually can't remember. But it was in the 2000s. It was after 9/11. So yeah, it's got to be 2002. Kashmir being his South American self. I think that's him walking back from scanning the, we had to scan these posts like a security guard, and I think he walked up to scan it because the road was pretty rough. Those are bunkers from fucking, like, Picatinny Arsenal's been there since before the Revolutionary War, so I don't know how old that was, but I would guarantee at least World War II. The guys at the main gate getting ready for, I think it's shift change. I see Sergeant Abbott there, so yeah, we were out on patrol, Kashmir and I, so we took each other's picture. Yep, there I am again. I'm trying to remember why we were wearing the flak vest. Something like was heightened security or something. I don't remember. At the range, qualifying with, I think it was M16 or was it 9mm? I can't remember. Maybe it was both. Maybe Jimmy will remember. That was our qualification range, a fucking hallway. I think that's the main gate. Yep, main gate. I'll bunker again. First Sergeant Patch. Me and Kashmir at the front gate. I still don't know why we were wearing. It had to be like heightened security or something, some threat or something. Why we would be wearing body armor, or not even body armor. Those are flak vests. Sergeant Abbott. Kashmir, the knob. Kashmir again. Kashmir again. My daughter Kara in my barracks room. There she is again. She's 20 now and has a baby of her own. Out on night patrol. Guard, his last name's Rivera. Yeah, getting ready to qualify. I have no idea what we're qualifying with. My coin from the, I think it was the base commander, so general. Getting ready to qualify. Kashmir again. Taking a break in the guard shack. My room is there. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the second one in from the left. No, mine would be, yeah, I don't remember. That's at the back side of the barracks. Yeah, it's Kashmir walking back. Joey Bag of Donuts. He definitely had that New Jersey accent, big time. And he was a boxer, so we disagreed a lot on fighting because I was a martial artist. There's the front gate sign. That's been moved, by the way. I've driven past there. Well, I drove past there a few years ago. They've moved the gate back. For Sergeant Patch, Sergeant Abbott. Company D, 1st of the 127th Armor. That house was built, was there in like the 1700s. There's Jimmy with the M60. Yep, that'd be him. Yep. Yeah, we hit deer a lot. We had I think we had like 4 deer hanging behind our barracks at one time, which was actually offensive to the New Jersey people because they don't hunt in the city. And there, yep, there's the barracks, the Delta House. There used to be Harley Davidsons and motorcycles lined up all across the front of that barracks right there. I even brought my motorcycle down. There's Jimmy on the M60. I think I've shown these before. I think it was on Facebook though. Anyway, there's Lieutenant. Shit. He's on my Facebook too. He's like a marathon runner now. But and I think he got out as a captain. So cool. Good for him. Herzl, and I've seen Sergeant Marsh get upset once, and yeah, I don't want to see that again. He'd make a good pro wrestler though. I think that's Jimmy again. Is that Jimmy? No. Who was that? I can't tell. He's got his face covered. And there's the jet that was radioactive that you weren't fucking supposed to go near. Yeah. Newspaper article teaching engineers who didn't give a flying fuck what we did about what we did. First Sergeant Patch. Fucking potatoes. Yeah, I think that's Jimmy there, shooting. You'll have to ask Jimmy about fucking potatoes. Or you can ask Ken himself. Corporal or Sergeant Safara. Everybody called when they first saw him, they called him Safara. Anyway, yeah, he was given M60 training. He was a scout originally and then came over to infantry. Lake Picatinny, which you could not swim in because they tested a lot of munitions there. And again, Webster, yeah, I guess he flipped his car a few years later, so. But I think he went active duty, so he's doing all right. There's Weir and shit, I can't remember his name. Never talked to him too much. Yeah, we brought a lot of winter with us to New Jersey, and they'd never seen that much winter before. Yes, that's actually a golf course in Mulligan's. Good food, though. I think was our first sergeant there, next first sergeant, sergeant first class. I think he was in charge of maintenance. Sergeant Horizon giving a class to a bunch of engineers who could give a flying fuck less about the operation of an M1 Abrams tank. And more M60 training, and I believe that motorcycle is Jimmy's. Yeah, that's when he had the Sportster. Yeah, we're doing weapons transition training. Pistol, yeah. I believe that's me on the left. Yep, there's Staff Sergeant Taylor. What's her name? I can't see it. Anyway, yeah. Oh, Mary Lou and Big Mike. DOD police. Yeah, Lieutenant Bainu and Sergeant McDonough, which I see his little girl on Facebook is hilarious. Yeah, mandatory fun. We had to go out in the cold after working an entire shift just to watch a bunch of people ride around on a motorcycle dressed as reindeer and drink instant coffee. Me and Sergeant Abbott drag raced our motorcycles down that street, which he won easily because he had 1100 and I had a 650. And mine was actually 650 pounds, so. That's his name, First Lieutenant Knowles. Now it's just Knowles. M60 training target, yeah. Sergeant Abbott. I just went acid or something, brakes or something, I can't remember. Yeah, that was the crew. Yeah, it was 2002 to 2003. Yeah, that was Picatinny Arsenal. I went to PLDC for 2 weeks during that time too. So I have pictures from that too that maybe I'll show next week. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to call this show a wrap tonight. Nobody came in, but who cares? Catch me next month, first Saturday of the month. It's always going to be the first Saturday of the month now. So enjoy and have fun and peace out. Actually, one more thing. I might actually, if you go over, I have a channel now for martial arts. I'm thinking about seeing if I could do some live martial arts training or just demonstrations, whatever, just for fun. Really getting back into this training. I'm liking it, so be looking out for it. Peace out, people. Try to have fun. I'm going to.